everyone. Welcome once again to CCW TV, the Comic Culture Warrior video channel. I am Elliot Serrano, and this is Jose Melendez, and we're coming to you from Dreamland Comics in Schaumburg, Illinois. If you've never seen our show before, CCW TV is the Comic Culture Warrior video channel, where a comic book writer and a comic book vendor talk about comics and the comics industry, and of course comics culture. Last week we had some really more conversation intensive segments. We're probably going to do a little bit more of that this week, but we do have a couple books that came out that warrant some, well, not just review but also discussion. So we're going to try to bring a little more discussion to our comics today. So let's just kick off with this one, because I know you guys, Jose said this in the last series of segments after we looked at Mighty Avengers, just Avengers and Avengers Academy. I would have no choice but to talk about New Avengers, #1 by Brian Bendis and Stuart Immonen, with a whole cast of very, very talented people working on this book. The start of, they have been rebooting, relaunching the Avengers titles. Secret Avengers, we've already mentioned Avengers and Avengers Academy. New Avengers is the last one out of all the reboots, right? There isn't going to be like Avengers Junior or... Yeah, there have been Young Avengers back, are they?
Yeah, they are actually.
They are? Is it going to be by, what's his...
Heinberg.
Heinberg, see, that I can see. Is... the artist, is the incredible artist. Is Jimmy Chung going to be doing the book? Because that's the only way I can see them.
I know he did the covers of the sources that I saw. I don't remember if he's doing it.
Yeah, that would be great. I know Chung he probably makes more money doing just covers and all that.
Plus, I think that book's going to be bi-monthly too.
Bi-monthly, okay,
so it actually comes out on time.
That would be cool. Okay, so New Avengers. I want to summarize this review by saying, meet the new Avengers, same as the old New Avengers. And kind of go by that. It's another getting the band together type of issues, and Luke Cage even says that. Let's get the band back together. This is probably the most gorgeous artwork I've ever seen Stuart Immonen do. This is just gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. I'm telling you, can I tell you? You don't even have to read the book. Just pour over the artwork itself. The artwork is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
What about the writing?
The artwork is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Well, let's talk about the writing, because this book is selling because Brian Michael Bendis is the #1 writer in the industry. Because last month, our Avengers #1 was #1 comic book selling, and Siege #4 was #2. So Brian Michael Bendis had the top two
selling books in comics.
Yeah. And they're also probably top 2 worst comics that I read last month too.
Really?
Avengers?
No. Okay, I mean,
Siege.
I am not trying by any means. Maybe I am. Let me play the advocate here for a moment. Really, the worst comics, the worst
of the month.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm trying to think.
Because there's a lot of crappy stuff out there.
Yeah, there was, but I haven't been reading Jeff Loeb's Hulk. So there's that.
Yeah.
Even like the Mark Miller
Nemesis?
Ultimate Avengers. Oh, that's right. No, Nemesis. I came out in June though. That's this month.
Oh, okay.
That came out. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm talking about Maze comics.
Yeah.
And Nemesis came out.
Can I tell you something?
So Nemesis will be my #1 worst comic, and this will be #2.
Look at this gorgeous artwork, guys. Look at this. Look at Maria Hand holding a gun to a baby's head. Or not to a baby's head, but pointing a gun at a baby. I'm telling you, this artwork is gorgeous.
thing though too is like, where do all these books take place?
I don't know.
Like all these Avengers books, like what the fuck is the continuity? And you throw Thunderbolts in there too because of it's.
Yeah.
We had a couple people on the blog trying to figure out like where everything goes, but everything just contradicts each other. It's ridiculous.
I think if I'm going to take any sort of issue with this, and you can, I'll tell you right now, and for the comic book fans that are out there, I don't want to seem like, I know we contradict ourselves. There are times when continuity, you kind of like shove it aside, not think about it, like with something like Doom War, where you try to figure out how Doom War fits into the greater picture. Well, let me make my point here.
No.
When you try to finish, you try to figure out how that fits in the whole thing. I can see where people take issue with that. But with all these high-profile books that are supposed to be the centerpiece of the Marvel Universe, yes, you really gotta figure out that continuity, how it works. And I'm going to tell you right now, and this is...
And 3 of those Avengers books are written by Bendis.
Yeah.
Avengers Prime's, New Avengers and the regular Avengers, and those don't even match up.
They don't.
Even After Siege, the one that he wrote too.
And I'm telling you right now, and I know it's going to piss off some folks, but this is really kind of the mandate in comics right now. You don't worry about continuity. You just don't.
So what the fuck they're paying the editors
on
for?
On the one hand, I can see where continuity can get in the way of you telling a good story. But on the other hand, yes, I know what you're saying.
But this is the launching pad, like you just said. This is the launching pad for like the new heroic age continuity. And you can't even start out with the required continuity within 3 of the #1 issues.
And again, I'm sure I'm going to contradict myself again, especially in kind of my critique of Avengers Academy, where they introduced all these new characters that I felt were kind of, to me, in my opinion, unnecessary, just because, and I go again from the writer brain, and as someone who has pitched at Marvel and DC, they always shoot you down when you try and introduce new characters. Fine. Christos Gage, though, has a lot of equity within the business, and that's why when he pitches that idea, he's able to make it happen. So, that is by no means a slight on him. He's doing what he's paid to do, and he does it very well. So, in this case, this really is a case where you would really benefit from introducing new characters. I know...
It's like, why is... Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
Now, I know Brian Bendis loves Luke Cage. He loves Luke Cage to death. But wouldn't it be...
We just had like 7 years of this shit.
Wouldn't it be nice to kind of like let Luke Cage now step off and be like
in the
Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Hell, bring Jessica Jones up a little more. Let her take center stage more. I would love to see a Jessica Jones Maria Hand dynamic, which they kind of have set off here already in this first issue. But to have
Victoria Hand.
I'm sorry, why did I keep calling her Maria? Yeah, Victoria Hand. Victoria Hand, seeing how they work together. And not just in a case where, I want my man to protect me from this woman who I hate and blase blase. Can I say this, the first artwork is gorgeous, and when I was reading the book, I was like, okay, I actually got the premise more for this team better than in Avengers. When Steve Rogers is going to all the different Avengers and talking to them about, do you want to join, da-da-da-da. The dynamics sort of seemed kind of didn't work for me. The dynamics in this book actually worked better for me, too. It seemed like, but it seemed to have a better handle on them.
But it still seems that Wolverine and Spider-Man are just thrown in there. If Spider-Man and Wolverine weren't in there, I might not have a problem with the team dynamic. But then you throw the Thing in there for no other reason than Bendis just wants to have the Thing.
But he has been an Avenger before.
I understand that, just like the Beast was. But the Beast makes sense in that Secret Avengers.
In Secret Avengers,
this is just that you already have a powerhouse. You have Luke Cage. Why do you need the Thing in there?
Right.
And then Don Grimm has this thing in this panel. He's like, or Luke Cage's like, do you have time, when you're not with the Fantastic Four? And then Ben Grimm's like, I do love my family, but but they are driving me absolutely insane lately. I'm like, really? Where is that? Because I'm not reading that at all in Fantastic Four. In the book that he's in. I don't see that at all. Is this Bendis just like, again, just rewriting continuity just so he can fit it in his fucking book? And I know we...
There are so many other characters out there.
But where are the editors? Again, we got this over and over and over again. And came to the editors just like, look, you can't use a thing. Jonathan Hickman is writing in Fantastic Four. He's doing something with that book. You don't need the thing in there.
Right. What you need is to give some other characters a chance to shine.
This is the same old bullshit. Why is it a #1? And the fucking Avengers are still sitting around eating and talking. That's all they do. Except they're eating hamburgers this time instead of Chinese food.
Can I tell you something? That scene where they're around in the mansion and eating. This is the most gorgeously rendered page I've ever seen. It's gorgeous. I know I seem facetious by saying this, but I'm being sincere. This is really gorgeous artwork.
You're at the point where you're sounding facetious because now you're just running into the ground. But all they're doing is sitting around eating fucking food again. It's like, just get on with it already.
I'm waiting for at one point in the Avengers for everyone to stand up and like hold guns and point them at each other. Because this is such a Tarantino thing. It is such a Tarantino thing to have characters sitting around and eating. And, you know, one of the rules of screenplay writing is when you have characters giving expository dialogue and just talking, it's more interesting to have them talking as they're doing something. Yeah. So, but...
Well, I mean, we were talking about, like, /1 last week. Wow, all that expository dialogue, which is interesting because it actually, that's how you write expository dialogue in the comic book.
As things were happening, though. And a lot of stuff was happening. Here, not so much. Bendis goes back to another ploy of his where he sets up an action scene, then he cuts away from it, then all the really good stuff happens while we're not watching, and then he comes back to the action scene after everything's resolved itself. After a while, I mean, this is, again, I know this is a storytelling technique for writers who get tired of writing action scenes. But I think even Bendis himself has admitted he's not very good at writing action scenes. He finds it very hard.
Don't put him on an action-oriented team book.
Well, this is obviously not going to be an action-oriented book. It might be a team book, but it's not.
There was more action in here than in the Avengers.
That's true. No, you're absolutely right. There was more action in this one.
And New Avengers has always been the lesser of the two Avengers books that have action. So, yeah, that's not a good start.
Well,
I don't know, it's just same old, man. I don't get it.
This book is going to sell. I mean,
it's going to be the number one book. This is going to
be another #1 book, yeah, because I can see this was a very if you are standing like you're in the comic shop and you decided you were like kind of on the fence, are you or are you not going to read New Avengers, and you sit and you flip through this book. See, here's the thing. This is it's somewhat, I'm not going to say deceptive, but it's very clever the way it's put together. You read this, and you're not really reading it. You're just flipping through it. And you go, ooh, big scene there. Flipping. Oh wow, this pages look really good. Da da da. Oh look, looks like something's going to happen there. Oh, enough. You might be thinking enough is going to happen in this book for you to say I want to pick it up.
Yeah, only if you flip through the first half of it.
First half of it, and then you'll go home. You'll take the book home, and you'll go, wow, a lot. Didn't happen, or as much didn't happen as I thought it would. And I'm sorry. Wolverine does not need to be... Okay, you want Wolverine on the Avengers? Fine.
But Spider-Man and Wolverine are on both Avengers teams.
But both Avengers teams. It seems pretty ridiculous. It seems really ridiculous.
Everyone else is fine. Mockingbird, Hawkeye, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay? Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, fine.
Right.
Even Iron Fist. That's cool.
I would love to see more Iron Fist, to be honest. I would love to see Luke Cage and Iron Fist together. Again, if you're going to give me heroes for hire in an Avengers book, then damn it, I want to see Danny Rand in there. I want to see Iron Fist get some more play. In fact, I can see Iron Fist doing a lot of stuff that friggin' Wolverine would do. Again, the obvious point here is that the characters that are in the book aren't there so much for story purposes as they are for marketing purposes. For you to sit there and see, these are the characters on the cover, and if you're going to buy the book because of who you see on the cover, that's why you pick up that particular book. But I think from an artistic standpoint, this is a perfect opportunity to bring more characters, populate this book with other former Avengers that can be heavy hitters, that can be upgraded to heavy hitters. I mean, Ms. Marvel is there.
But she was like hardly even in the book.
Yeah, hardly even in the book. She's one of your top
I don't understand, exactly.
Right. So, I don't see why they have to cloud it with, I don't know. you know, I got annoyed by it, but the artwork was gorgeous.
Yeah.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at another book that also is going to set off a little bit of a discussion about why the heck do we do these things? Why do they do them? We hope we see you then.